Buckle up, folks, because we're diving headfirst into the steel-plated, tariff-laden pool of Trump's latest trade war. On March 12, 2025, the man with a penchant for Twitter diplomacy and questionable trade practices slapped a hefty 25% tariff on all steel and aluminum imports. That's right, all of them. This wasn't just a love tap to a few countries. It was a global steel-toe boot to the groin. The stated goal? You guessed it, protecting American jobs and industries. The problem? It's not the 1980s, and global trade is a tad more complicated than a John Hughes movie montage. This wasn't Trump's first rodeo with tariffs. He'd already tangoed with this strategy back in 2018. Remember the trade war with China? Yeah, those were the good old days. But this time the tariffs were broader, bolder, and dare we say, ballsier. Unsurprisingly, the international community did not respond with a standing ovation. Instead, they chose the much more sensible option: retaliation. The European Union, not known for backing down from a trade spat, fired back with countermeasures on a whopping $28 billion worth of U.S. goods. Canada, our friendly neighbor to the north, known for its maple syrup and passive-aggressive politeness, decided to ditch the niceties and slap tariffs on over $20 billion of U.S. imports. It seemed the era of sorry was officially over, replaced by pay up, eh? The message was clear: this wasn't a game of trade war solitaire, the world was playing for keeps. So, who wins in a trade war? Spoiler alert, nobody. Sure, some American steel and aluminum producers might have popped champagne when the tariffs were announced, but the after-party was bound to be a somber affair. Why? Because tariffs, much like tequila shots, feel like a good idea at the time but often lead to a nasty hangover. The tariffs meant higher prices for American manufacturers who rely on imported steel and aluminum. And guess who ultimately pays for those price hikes? You guessed it again, the American consumer. Remember that International Trade Commission analysis from 2023? The one that predicted a $3 billion output shrinkage in affected industries? Yeah, that was starting to look less like an economic forecast and more like a self-fulfilling prophecy. The million-dollar question, or perhaps billion-dollar question given the stakes, is, where does this all lead? Will this escalate into a full-blown trade war with global implications? History, as they say, doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. And the rhyme in this case was a cacophony of economic uncertainty, diplomatic tension, and the distinct possibility of a global recession. The world was watching, waiting, and wondering if the leader of the free world had just shot himself and the global economy in the foot, again.